Alright, guys, this is gonna be a quick video. Just how something I want you guys to think about. Now, I remember I remember last year when The Rock returned and it was all this buzz, all this hype. We were excited for him to come back, beat down Cena, whatever, WrestleMania 28. And now we get to this year. The Rock comes back, we get Cookie Puss and a bunch of CM Punk taunts and a bunch of Rock tards dick writing on YouTube, you know, every time you insult The Rock, God forbid you insult The Rock, and now the WWE brought The Rock back to bring back their old hardcore fans to increase buy rates for their pay-per-view, but it looks like it's having the opposite effect on a lot of us. So I had a thought. What would the WWE currently be like if The Rock didn't come back this year? Do you think it'd be better? Personally, I think that the match that we got on this last Monday night on Raw, if I would see that at Mania, I would be in. I would definitely be in to watch Cena versus Punk at WrestleMania. And then to see Cena get his redemption that way. Because even if you hate John Cena, it's hard to hate him after seeing that match. That match was that good. I'm sitting here booing John Cena, and then after the match, I was like, alright, man, whatever. Clap, yippee for you, cookie for you, Cena. I can't even be mad at him after that match. That match was great. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you look at it. It's one of the better matches of the year. It will definitely probably better than whatever The Rock and Cena do at Mania this year. I don't know. I won't be watching. But, man, it's like The Rock comes back, beats Punk at the Rumble, and then Cena takes the Royal Rumble spot at the Rumble, and then, we get stuck with these two, and then we get Punk versus, The Rock at Elimination Chamber. Punk jobs to The Rock, and then we get this match, this great match, and now we gotta sit through The Rock and Cena twice in a lifetime. And it's not gonna this is not Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker again. This is The Rock and Cena. A match that wasn't bad, but it's not a match I would care to see again. I don't need a rematch between these two. I don't care, because it doesn't do anything for me to watch them. Cena wins, we get the big, the PG kitties, Fruity Pebble, and all this bullshit, and then we gotta sit through another Cena reign, which we've seen that before. And if The Rock wins, well, he's leaving soon anyway, so who's he going to drop the belt to? It's only a matter of time before he loses it, which is like, I don't understand why he wanted the title when he came back. I don't understand that. Y2J comes back, he put some guys over. Shawn Michaels came back, and for some years he was putting guys over. The only person who, when they don't come back and put people over, is The Undertaker, and that's understandable. I don't like it, but at the same time, you gotta respect what he's done. The Rock, people are, well, you gotta respect what he's done too. The Rock wrestled one era, people. You can't compare The Rock to The Undertaker. You can't compare no one in wrestling to The Undertaker's legacy, except maybe Sting on the other side. But that's the most you can do, But it's like, man, what if The Rock never came back? We wouldn't have fart and cookie puss jokes. We wouldn't have the Rock tards who are only gonna be fans of the company for 2 months and then turn and leave it. Oh, The Rock's going, back to work. We'll come back next year when he's working his Santa Claus schedule, one match a year, And now it's like, what does him being champion do for? That was a championship caliber match right there. If John Cena had matches like that every week, I'm sure we would not hate him like we do. We would not hate him as much as we do. We would not be chanting, "You can't wrestle, Cena sucks." We would shut the fuck up. If we didn't have nothing nice to say, we wouldn't say shit at all. Why couldn't we have that match at Mania? Why couldn't we have Cena versus Punk, the final showdown between these two, at Wrestlemania. Why couldn't we have that? Instead, we got to sit through The Rock and Cena 2, which is, I don't think it's going to be nowhere near that good. It's John Cena turns heel. It's not the answer, people. He's basically a heel right now as much as we boo him. You know what? He's going to start poking guys in the eyes and giving a few low blows or telling the kiddies to suck, and then we have the kiddies crying. WWE's going to be losing stockholders because, well, who's going to be the next babyface? CM Punk? Randy Orton, who keeps popping on steroid and drug tests, Jack Swagger. Who are they going to package as the next one? And even if they don't give a crap about that, it's like, why? What does it do in the long run for Cena? It gives him a chance to embrace his heel side, but I don't think it'll do any good for the company in the long run. You know, you got a roster that's already 90% heels already, you know, with only so few baby faces that are actually over with anyone. You know, I don't see it helping no one. The Rock's over because of us, those people who were with him over the years. You know, I mean, I hate the current version of The Rock that we've got now, just because if The Rock came back and he didn't touch the WWE title, I would have nothing to say. I would be cheering, I would be calling him the great one, you know, doing the catchphrases, raising the eyebrow and all that bullshit. I'd be doing it still. But when he came back and he touched that title, if Cena went to the Rumble and beat Punk for the title at the Royal, I wouldn't be in this state right now where I'm just against the WWE, because it's like Cena's gonna be there. He's always been there. If Ziggler would have won, he's been there. He's gonna be there. You know, I can't point to a calendar and count down how many days that this dude's gonna have it. You know, I can go, okay, every match is interesting. With The Rock, oh, just watch Mania. Whoever he's facing in Mania is gonna take it. You know, the match is as unpredictable as an Undertaker match at this point. You know, that's how predictable it is. You know, the only shocking thing about wrestling, and not just WWE, TNA too. The only thing shocking about wrestling is how predictable it has become. It really is. TNA Impact this week. The Aces and Eights are going to attack someone. Hogan's going to complain. They're probably going to team Hardy and bully up. You know, the ultimate cop-out when creative stops being creative. Raw next week. Cena's going to cut a promo. The Rock's going to bring it via satellite in some way. Or some bullshit. You know, we might get the Undertaker come out and Triple H and Lesnar hype up. That's all we're going to get, man. Quote, you know, come on this video and tell me I'm wrong if I'm wrong, you know, but that's basically what we're going to get, man. I remember days when Paul Bearer was getting shoved down a sewer in an episode, and then you come back next week, you got Kurt Angle in a milk truck, you got, what was it, Stone Cold beating up Booker T in a grocery store one week, you know, Booker T playing a priest in a confessions booth, you know, and not all that stuff was good. That wasn't even the Attitude Era. Most of that was the Ruthless Aggression era. You know, yeah, it's a PG product now, but that's no excuse. TNA, you're not a PG product. So what's your excuse? You got more of an avenue to do more shit, and the best thing you give us is a biker gang that can't win matches. A biker gang where a black dude is the leader, and they can't win at all. They won their first match last week. Cookie for you, Aces and Eights. That doesn't help your credibility. You still suck. We still want you off the screen, Aces and Eights. But since we gotta deal with you, okay, we're gonna pat you on the back and try to make you better. I stated already how to make the Aces and Eights better. I'm not gonna do it in this video. It's a waste of breath, because, you know, TNA, y'all just ignore us. Y'all, we're just going to turn Bully Ray heel, and they're going to suddenly start winning. And then Sting's going to demolish the Aces and Eights in 2 months. You know, that's what you always do, right? Damn, I went off a tangent. What do you think would have happened if The Rock came back? Do you think WrestleMania would be better? Yeah, we know it would be. Because it wouldn't be getting the same exact match card from last year, you know. That's what I think. I think Cena and Punk alone would have been good. enough to just go off of Mania. But it's like, and this was said to me during my career in the military by an officer I thought was a dumbass my entire career, but he had his moments where he proved that the dude knew some shit. You know, you never know what you're gonna learn from someone. You know, he looked at me. Guy's name was Payne, Lieutenant Payne. You know, we sitting in the room one day, and I'm looking at, I guess some North Korea shit was going down, and I was like, why do they keep doing this shit, man? And Payne looked at me, and I wasn't really listening to him because, you know, I always thought what he said was bullshit. But he looked at me and said, Gilmore, my college professor told me something, and it applies to everything in the world. If you're looking at anything and it makes no sense why they're doing what they're doing, 95% of the time, the answer is money. That's why WWE doing this Rock and Cena shit. It makes no sense to do it again. They're doing it for money. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Linda. Are you Rock and Cena too, fanboys? Just say it. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Linda. You know, Linda McMahon Senate campaign drained the McMahon bank account. So now it's like, well, how can we get that money back? Rock Cena too. I will not support this shit. Tired of them giving us lackluster programming. You know. Oh my God, man. I try not to be negative. If you watch my recent string of videos, I try not to be negative. But WWE, you've done it again. CM Punk sucked me back in with that match. Him and John Cena both. Great match. And I'm like, man, if they did this every week, I would actually watch it. I wouldn't have to dig it up on the internet and stream it. I wouldn't mind contributing to you making money. But now it's like, well, we're not going to get that next week now that CM Punk's out the feud, right? Punk's going to get fed to The Undertaker, or Ryback's going to get fed to The Undertaker. Why did they kill Ryback's momentum, by the way? Why? If you're going to put Ryback against Taker, why kill his momentum? That makes as much sense as, what is it, Briscoe versus Kurt Angle in that steel cage match right now. You know, it makes no sense, man. He's not on his level. Taker should just sit out the year, man. Just sit out the year. If you got to cut a promo saying, no one is worthy, and then just go away for another year, man, because really, if you're not fighting Sting or Goldberg at this point, no one cares. If you fight CM Punk, man, oh my God. Oh my God, that's going to be ridiculous. Punk gets fed to Taker's streak. And even if Punk ends the streak, what does it do? Does it help CM Punk? What's he going to do, brag for a year? I ended The Undertaker. I ended the end. No one wants to, no. No, if you're not talking about the world title, Punk, we don't care. That's all I got. What do y'all think? Y'all think the WWE would be better if The Rock didn't come back and then just turn up and leave like he's going to? If he came back and stayed, cool, but